All right, we're here with recruiting coordinator Jake Moreland. Jake, we just got done with the National Signing Day press conference, and as it is with every program, the head coach is the one that stands up in front of the media and talks about the incoming class. But behind the scenes, it's the recruiting coordinator and a lot of the assistants that do a lot of the legwork during the entire recruiting process. What was that like this year?
Well, the process in general is a difficult one, and it's a long one. This process starts in February. To be honest with you, I've already started getting things together, and a lot of our guys who've been out recruiting have already been looking at the class of 2011. So this is, sometimes it takes over a year, to get to this point, to get to this day when guys are signing their national letter of intent. And because of that, I think our guys are really proactive about getting out there and trying to find those junior prospects that we really need to get a handle on. This year, I think our guys did a great job of trying to cultivate those junior recruits that we had an idea about, got them to camp, and the guys that we didn't get to camp, we didn't necessarily stop recruiting those guys. We continued on with a lot of those guys to get senior film, find out more about them. For us, a big thing is character, and that was a very good thing that our coaches were able to do, is find out a lot about the recruits that we have coming in. Every single one of the recruits that we have coming in is a high character guy, and those are the guys that we want to bring in. Those are the guys that we feel can win football games for us. And I would say that continuing to cultivate those relationships with the juniors on into their senior season is something that we've done probably the best job since I've been here, and that's the reason why we've gotten these guys.
Now, you are the lone coach on the staff that was here when Bill Cubitt originally came back to Western Michigan at the end of the 2004 season. Being a part of this recruiting process here at Western Michigan, what has changed in the past year, 2, 3, 4 years?
I think that the thing that's changed the most for us, and I think the thing that has changed over the last 5 years just in recruiting in general, is really being able to see these kids perform on their own. A lot of times, sometimes guys get passed over because they may not be on a great team, and because their team isn't getting a lot of publicity, there's some members of that team that also don't get a lot of publicity. Well, I think that our guys do a great job of going in and really honing in on the prospect himself, really trying to see what attributes that prospect has, how he can come in and deliver, the things that we need him to deliver on our team. And because of that process, we have our one-day camps that go on in the summer. Then we will look at senior film. We have guys that go down to Florida, and in Florida, it's a little bit different. They have spring practices and things like that, so they're actually able to see these guys perform in the moment. And even though they might not be on a great team, we're able to really pick and choose the actual athletes and prospects on their own merits and kind of move from there. So I think that's something that's really moved in the last 5 years, is really honing in on specific players and their specific talents to be able to help your team.
Last couple of questions. One, what do you like about this class particularly?
This class, when we went into this class, our focus was speed, and I think we really addressed that need. The guys that we have, especially on the back end, I know Coach talked about it. We have a couple 100-meter champions on the team. We have guys that can really run around and do some great things speed-wise. But the thing that I really like about this class is that we have guys that not only are they fast, not only are they big, not only are they high motor guys, but they're guys that are able to do these things on the field. And that's what goes back to the last question that she asked, which is trying to find those guys that have the things that they can do on the field. That was the biggest thing for us, was making sure that guys are able to transfer maybe what they're doing on the track, what they're doing in the weight room, and really be able to produce on the football field. And that, I think, is what's going to make this class a very, very good one. And I feel real strong about our future moving forward with this class in it.
Now, obviously, you're also the tight ends coach at Western Michigan, and we have a tight end in this class, Peter Tirana, kind of still in that mold of the Tony Scheffler, the Brandon Ledbetter, even, Blake Hammond, who had what a lot of people think was a kind of a breakout year in 2009. 6'4", big kid. Talk about him from the position standpoint.
Pete is a guy that I had rated pretty high coming into the spring. And the more film that I watched on him, the more intriguing he became. I'm looking for a guy that is able to stretch the field, catch the ball, be an athlete, but also a guy who's not afraid to mix it up. We actually block, which is kind of a lost art as a tight end. A lot of the tight ends that you read about and hear about nowadays, they're really big wide receivers. And because of that, blocking isn't really their forte. Well, I'm looking for some guys that want to get in there and mix it up, and Pete is not afraid to get in there and do those things. He was a defensive end and a tight end, both as a junior. Had a little bit of an injury plague him this year as a senior, but I really liked what I saw, and in getting to know him and his family, I think it's going to be a great fit. He's a guy right now that's probably not undersized, but he'll come in and be an undersized guy in the room just by height and weight and those kind of things. So he'll be a guy early that we'll be looking to stretch the field and those things, and then build on that and continue to develop him in the tight end mold, where he's going to be a great on-the-line blocker as well.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.